You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes from Jack Wilson. Jack was the star of episode 57 of the Sales Success Stories podcast back in the day, and is now a senior director of enterprise sales at Seismic. Here he is.
Hey there, Daily Sales Tips community. Today I've got a tip for you that will help you leverage video to establish early rapport, set yourself up with more meaningful discoveries, and foster great teamwork between you and your SDR if you're lucky enough to have the support from one. First, you'll need to make sure that you have access to an easy video tool. My personal preference is Vidyard, which you can download for free. Then all you'll need is whatever you use for virtual meetings, assuming you can record like most of the world can now. All right, here's the tip. The next time your SDR or BDR books a meeting, jump on a quick Zoom call together and hit record. Take less than 60 seconds to introduce each other and set up the upcoming call. Explain that there are a few pieces of information that you've outlined in the email that will help you make the most of their time on the call. It might sound something a little bit like this. Hey there, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, it's Jack at Seismic. Wanted to be able to put a face to the email and help us make the most of our time on X day at Y time. I've included a few basic questions in this email that will help me get a really detailed understanding of what you've got going on. So instead of us getting into the weeds on the call, we can really have a valuable conversation. Now, it's important that your ask and your questions is in the body of the email, not the video. That way it's easy for the recipient to go back and reference them without having to listen to the video over and over again. Once you're done with your recording, you can easily clip out the dead air at the beginning and at the end using whatever editing tool is native to your laptop. Then upload the clip into Vidyard so you can send it with some tracking metrics and a cool thumbnail to grab their attention. This practice helps you establish early rapport by humanizing yourself and your BDR, putting a face to the email or the cold call. When your prospect responds with the boring minutiae that you need to do your job, you can spend more time in discovery getting into the more strategic, high-level, meaningful conversations rather than asking the X and Y's and box-checking questions that you usually need. Lastly, your SDR or BDR will see that you value them and that you're doing everything that you can to help make sure that their meetings stick so that you all win together. Now, if you don't have the support of an SDR and you set your own meetings, this practice is still a great way for you to accomplish much of what we talked about. In the last 6 months, I've seen 100% view rates and just shy of 50% response rates to the questions and 5,000% camaraderie with my BDR.
For links to connect with Jack, just click over to DailySales.Tips/1063, and we'll have those for you there. Once you've done that, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.